I'm out here today on the west end of the 6-acre larger site of Edible Acres, just north of Trumansburg, New York. We'll do a more thorough tour in the fall of how this west end is being opened up and turned into some really productive areas. We're going to be doing a few thousand heads of garlic out here, expanding our air prune beds to this end of the property, and doing a bunch more nursery work. And in the process of clearing, there was some selective thinning of white ash that I chose to do, mainly focusing on trees that were starting to have some issues with their leaves. The emerald ash borer feels like it's an imminent thing in this area. So as we're clearing and thinning, I'm trying to use the branches and tops to build hugel mounds and then use the main stems to make these interesting trellises. And I'd like to talk today about how I built this trellis thus far and how we might expand all this. In the description, I will provide actual details, but I would guesstimate that this trellis cost under $5 to build, and mainly using a lightweight electric chainsaw to do a little bit of mortise and recess work to have these logs pair with each other better, especially the one on the back. I'll look at that in a moment. Really, it's just a little bit of galvanized strapping and some screws that had cost. The rest is the ash from the woods here, and then hand split black locust staves that were pounded in with a maul at these 4 legs in order to wire tie them together so that the legs can't move. All in all, it's actually quite sturdy for under 2 hours of work. Let me give it the jungle gym test. My thought with this particular trellis is to have a walkway through the middle, almost making this a little bit sculptural and playful, that you would go through the middle in here and that there'd be permanent beds on the west side and the east side. There'd be additional wiring and or branches from other ash that are screwed into this to make some lattice work for vines to grow. And the plan is either this fall or next spring, at each of these 4 post points that come down to the ground, to commit a different vining crop. So perhaps a male hardy kiwi and 3 different varieties of female hardy kiwi, all that can be trained up the main leaders here and then over to the top to splay out. And in the meantime, for next season, to plant out seeds for winter squash, pole beans, cucumbers, and the like, so the crop hangs down into the interior and it fills the space for next year. I'll definitely do some updates on it. I'm excited to see how it evolves. We've got so many of these ash poles throughout the woods here, staged from the electric chainsaw based clearing that I did last year and this year. I'm really excited to experiment with lots more trellising. I'd love to see more perennial vines mixed with annual vines in this landscape. This ash on the north end of this trellis, a little hairy to do it, but got up on a nice sturdy ladder and felled it at this height at about 7 or 8 feet, and then took the rest of the run and made a notch, drove a timber lock screw straight down through the top, did a pre-drill, and then used a nice sturdy galvanized strapping and a whole bunch of little screws, exterior grade screws, to keep it from wanting to move at all. I may add an angle brace of white ash that's recessed into the upright and the horizontal at some point, but I don't know if it actually needs it. It doesn't feel like it wants to flex. Less than $5 in parts, using the heaviest components being sourced from within 30 feet or so of the trellis. About 2 hours of pretty fun problem-solving labor. This is the first of what will hopefully be many interesting, funky, and I hope very sturdy, long-lasting trellises for perennial and annual vines. Here at the west end of Edible Acres, the main 10-year-old food forest nursery site. We'll do some updates on all the other fun things happening out here soon enough. Thanks for watching.